I'll show you how to edit and enter notes. The first thing you'll need is this palette over here. If you don't see this palette with all these names on it, it's easy to get it. You just look under display and it'll be the top one. If this isn't ticked, sometimes you won't see the palette there. It just doesn't appear. You can always make it appear by ticking it, and then you have palettes to the left. So we want to enter notes. And the way you enter notes on MuseScore is that you choose the value of the note that you want. So if I wanted a minim, I would choose a minim, and it tells me what it is, half note or minim. And if I actually want to put it in here, I have to be a little bit tricky and choose N for note. Now it knows, you see it gets all excited, it wants to put a note in there. And the hard part is that in using the drums as we are, we have to let it know that we're putting drum notes in. So we have to go through that step in order to put them in. It seems to have chosen crotchets for me, quarter notes. That's okay, I can go back and fix it. I'll put the minimum in the way that I'd like to put it in. Everything's still highlighted, note and grace notes, so I should be able to put a minim in here. And maybe I want to put a TT, which is 2 quavers, or eighth notes. So I'll plonk in a T and a T, and MuseScore will automatically beam them together. So I can keep going on this instrument, and if I keep adding TTs like this, MuseScore does something funny and puts them together. It's not incorrect to do this, but you probably don't want it to look like this. So I'm going to hit the escape button once. Everything's still blue, so I'm going to hit it again and one more time just for fun, and that means I won't accidentally change anything. So that's the escape button in the top left of the keyboard. If you want to separate these, you go over here to beam properties, because we're talking about beams, like a balance beam. If you want totally separate notes, we choose that one, but we don't want totally separate notes. We want to have a beam that's connected to the two other notes. So I'll drag that idea over here, and that separates them. If for some crazy reason I wanted to put them back together, I would drag this one on to the one where I want to connect them. And maybe that's not it, maybe it's this one, and they connect together again. Sometimes you'll find that your notes are upside down. It seems on your computers they appear at first upside down. Easy way to fix it is to click on it so that the note is blue and hit the letter X. Oops. Hit the letter X and it will flip your note heads up. You need to do this for every note or for every beamed group, so this whole set will go like that. Notice this isn't a ticka-ticka. This is quavers. If I want a ticka-ticka, I have to choose note input. It wants me to put in crotchets, but I want semiquavers. Make sure I've got this note selected, and I should be able to add in 1, 2, 3, 4 ticka-tickas. And notice it doesn't matter where I put this. I could put it up in space. MuseScore will make sure that it arrives on the line. Again, if any of these are upside down, hit the letter X on the keyboard, and that will flip them back around so that they're up properly. Now if I decided that that first note I actually wanted to be something other than a crotchet, all I have to do is select the note and go up and change it. If I change it to a quaver, while it's blue, it will become a quaver. It'll put that rest in because it used to be a crotchet, and so it needs to fill that with something. Don't delete that rest. Either you want to leave the rest there for the space, you could turn it into another note, N for note, and make sure I choose this, and I can put now a TT in there. Or if you really want it to be, I'll undo that, if you really want it to be a note with no space after it, then escape, escape, escape. Make sure you don't accidentally change anything. Select it and make it back into that crotchet. My note heads upside down, so I hit the letter X while it's still blue, while it's still selected, and it will turn it back the other way. If I turn this into a minim, it's going to be 2 beats long, so it'll actually get rid of that other note and turn it into a crotchet. So don't be too surprised if things change like that, because if I choose a semi-brief, it takes out the whole bar, because the semi-brief takes 4 beats. I should be undoing it with this button, but Control-Z works just as well. Same thing here. If I want this to be a T-ticka or a ticka-T, I'll change this to a quaver, and my T-ticka appears. If I want the opposite, I'll keep the ticka at the front and turn the third semi-quaver into a quaver. You might not be using T-tickas or ticka-Ts, but that's basically how you get notes entered. I better fix this beam as well. Drag this onto that note, and it's, oops, oh, I dragged it onto the wrong note, and it separated the wrong note. That's the one I want. So this is how you enter notes on MuseScore.